When the water vanished from this land, every creature began to run, hunted by a thirst that never sleeps.
Out here, one careless step can erase a life so completely that only dust remembers it was ever there.
Every path to safety has narrowed into a tunnel of stone, where hesitation is more deadly than teeth. Where waves once sang against the shore, only salt and silence remain, a graveyard for forgotten storms.
The old giants bow their heads not to hunters, but to a sky that no longer knows how to rain. On their ledge of stone, a fragile family watches the world below run from a thirst that is coming for them too. They have outlived claw and fang, but the emptiness below forces them to ask if this land still wants them here. He has led hunts through blood and danger, yet this silent, thirsty world unsettles him more than any roaring beast. The last pool that kept their hearts beating has turned to powder, leaving nothing to drink but the fear of what comes next. In his young mind, water is no longer a promise of tomorrow, but a memory that might vanish before he grows old. Leaving means walking into the jaws of hunters. Staying means waiting for thirst to finish what hunger began.
She listens not with ears, but with scars and instinct, searching for any whisper that the land has not abandoned them completely. Together they weigh the risks of motion against the certainty of decay, knowing any choice might cost them everything. In that tightening grip, the question becomes a command. They will not die here, waiting for mercy that will never come.
He chooses the danger of the unknown over the certainty of this dry grave, promising they will walk toward the black rocks at dusk. They pack only what a back can bear: skins, blades, and the thin hope that somewhere, water still remembers their names. In that silent exchange, the boy feels the weight of the journey shift from his father's shoulders onto his own.
With each step away from their empty home, the idea of return fades, replaced by the need to find a place worth reaching.
Against the skin of this dying world, their footsteps are a thin, fragile scar, hoping to lead toward the last veins of water.
Every step across this burning skin of stone carries them deeper into a story older than their blood, yet written by their choices. Even the giants flee in the same direction they choose, and instinct ties predators and prey to the same invisible line of hope.
This is the first time his world stretches beyond their camp, and the horizon looks as dangerous as it does endless.
Hunger carves the bones, but drought carves the land itself, splitting it open until nothing green remains between the scars.
Thirst turns every step into a test, and even the strongest begin to feel the ground pulling at their bones.
The final drop falls like a verdict, and the silence that follows weighs more than any storm.
Night does not bring rest here, only new noises in the dark, and the question of what is hunting whom.
He has stood guard against teeth and claws all his life, but tonight he listens for the sound of a future drying up before it arrives.
Just beyond the reach of their fire, the old hunger of this world waits for a single mistake. Her silent hand says what words cannot: survive, no matter what waits in the dark. Morning arrives not as a comfort, but as a reminder that the world will not wait for them to be ready.
They walk across the skeleton of a vanished lake, chasing the ghost of water that might still be hiding somewhere beyond these dry bones.
Here, even the ground might swallow them whole, and every misstep reminds them how thin the line between breathing and buried truly is.
Ancient wounds in the earth gape open, deep and empty, offering only a grave and a warning where not to fall. They cling to stone in silence while tons of terrified muscle rush past, knowing a single misstep would crush them without a second thought. Fear claws at his chest, begging to burst out in a shout, but survival lives in the quiet between his clenched teeth.
They survive another blind surge of chaos, but the plain ahead remains as merciless as before.
Strength is not a constant in this journey. It passes between them like a torch, keeping the fire in their legs from going out. He wonders if he is leading them toward salvation or just a different kind of death, and the answer hides beyond those dark ridges.
She reads the scars on the earth like a map, searching for any hint of where the last veins of water tried to run. Even the sky creatures follow an unseen promise, and the three below trust the path written on their wings. To reach the promise of water, they must first walk through the throat of the stone. The path ahead is paved with the ruins of those who failed to outrun the thirst.
This is what the drought leaves behind. Architecture of bone, monuments to how quickly strength can vanish. They freeze like stone, knowing that one breath too loud could turn them from travelers into prey.
Every sideways step is a choice between forward and falling, and the drop below does not forgive doubt. Beyond the stone prison lies no paradise, only more distance between them and the promise of water. The sky itself turns against them, grinding stone into air and turning breath into a battlefield. They cling to one another as the world turns to grinding dust, trusting touch when sight and sound are torn away. Through stinging dust and burning lungs, her gaze stays fixed forward, refusing to let fear turn her back. When the sky finally loosens its grip, the world feels different, but no kinder. At last, the sky shows teeth made of rain instead of dust, but the distance between them and that storm could still be deadly. The promise of distant rain sharpens their stride, turning each step from escape into pursuit.
Here, the land remembers where water once ran, etching its absence into the earth like a forgotten story.
He finds only a whisper of dampness, but in a world this dry, even a whisper feels like hope.
They are not alone on this road. Other hungry travelers have chosen the same path, with different reasons to reach the end.
The scent of sweat and fear draws the hunters onward, guided by instincts older than memory.
Their paths now share a single line, and the space between footstep and claw grows thinner with every breath.
For a moment, chance throws stone between hunters and hunted. But here, even the trees stand like ghosts, reminders of a time when water once moved through their veins.
Between the thirst ahead and the teeth in the dark, they cling to this small circle of fire, hoping it burns long enough to see another dawn.
While they search for water, something else quietly measures the weight of their weakness. He stands between their fragile fire and the teeth, waiting outside its light.
Every sound in the dark feels like a decision between fight, flight, or being found.
Even at rest, her bones remember the weight of every loss they cannot afford.
With every dawn, they rise again, carrying the weight of another day survived. Each step carries them out of death's shadow and closer to where the clouds are born. At last, the air begins to change, carrying the cool memory of water from higher ground.
The ground here does not crumble like ash. It holds secrets of beasts that still drink.
For the first time in days, his skin feels something that is not dust or heat.
They trust the instincts of the thirsty beasts, knowing animals rarely walk toward emptiness. For the first time, the air does not just carry the memory of water, it carries its voice. He climbs not just for himself, but for every step that brought them here.
Together they squeeze through stone, knowing the space for error is as narrow as the path. The same stone corridor that leads them toward water also guides their hunters closer to their heels.
The gap between them is shrinking, and soon distance will no longer be their shield. They have found it, the fragile heart of this harsh land, still beating in liquid form.
For a brief moment, thirst loosens its grip, and they drink not only water, but belief.
Water has drawn more than just the desperate and the hopeful. It has called hunger to the same small pool. He knows this place could be their salvation, or the last rock they ever stand on.
Side by side, they decide that if death comes here, it will have to fight for every heartbeat.
He stands behind them now, but the next moments will decide who he becomes. The battle for this narrow pocket of life erupts in silence, teeth against wood and stone. In the rush of fear, he discovers that his hands can hold more than just doubt. The sky itself intervenes, shaking loose enough stone and sound to send hunger fleeing.
At last, water does not hide in stone. It falls freely from the sky, blessing their scars.
From a trickle into a path, the water begins to remember how to move again. Beyond this narrow refuge, a wounded land begins to heal, one drop at a time.
They do not just survive this place. They begin to imagine living here. Without words, she tells him that this journey was not just escape, but inheritance.
On a planet of drought and teeth, they have found a fragile place to begin again.